Thank you for taking this moment to breathe and to listen to what can change your life forever. My name is Ragnar Zinikas, and I'm the founder of Starpreneurs TV, How to Dominate the Decade talk show, World Women Conference and Awards, and the creator of Coral Desk. My mission is to empower through education, and I want to congratulate you because today, by showing up here, you are investing in your personal growth. Thank you for that. And thank you for joining us. Today, I have the honor to talk with Aleksander Gansen. So I'm already mixing up the name in the beginning, but well, that really happens when you live abroad and you haven't spoken Estonian for a little while. But Aleksander is actually from Estonia, and I'm really honored to speak with him because he's one of the people that really makes difference in his community. He's an entrepreneur, he's a public speaker, he's a deputy general manager at Space, and he's also startup mentor at the Global Hack, also financial advisor. So without any further ado, let's see what Aleksander has to say about himself, who he is, and why is he doing what he's doing. So Aleksander, welcome back actually to our show.
Thank you, Ragnar. I really appreciate what you do for the community. I'm a big fan of your channel, and people who have been on this channel, they're just amazing. So I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you managed to get them all there, but great job. Congrats.
Thank you very much. So tell us what you are doing currently. And I know that we spoke about one of your projects last time, but this time we wanted to be more specific, and we wanted to bring in the innovation, what we call made in Estonia, and then scaling globally. So tell us a little the story behind why you started with it, and then we followed with the rest.
Absolutely, thank you. Well, I'm an entrepreneur, and what I do in life is mostly eliminating waste and trying to help people to free up their time. And there are several industries that are still living in a stone age, sorry to say, and logistics is one of them. So as a business owner in furniture and design for over 15 years, I have been experiencing all the pains you can go through when ordering your shipments, when well, monitoring them or expecting them to arrive on time, which seldomly happens. And almost five and a half years ago, I think, together with a good friend of mine, we launched the project called Shipitwise with the goal to eliminate this waste in logistics and give an ordinary people a possibility to get an access to a simple and affordable logistics. So it grew up in a much bigger project than, well, I ever thought. Those five and a half years was very exciting experience that brought me together with tons of amazing people. We traveled the world, we met different companies, we learned more about this problem. And about a year ago, we joined another amazing team, team of Space, SPEYS. It's a Finnish team. And now with the joint forces, we are digitalizing logistics for businesses.
Beautiful. So I think most of us that we are watching now, we understand the term of logistics, but how do you explain a digital logistics? What is the difference?
Oh, great question. I will give you a simple example, okay? We're all having kind of smartphones or tablets or an access to digital tools. And I think when, well, discussing a period before COVID-19, everyone was really using type of applications, Airbnb, Booking.com, Uber, etc. And those daily services, they are so convenient to use. User experience is great. The applications are modern. People love them. And this actually affects the revenues of those companies. And you can see how market is changing from the old traditional way of offering those services to a new digital way. But when we consider shipping, logistics, then you can forget about all those tools. You are using the old style like email or phone or the bird mail to get the stuff moving. And our goal is to create very convenient contemporary tools that you can run from your smartphone, from your device.
That's beautiful. And I, I think especially in a society like Estonia, everybody is so used to like, there's e-government, e-health, you name it. And there's for sure someone has already done at least something or started with that. So, so I think also considering the advancements in the community that where you live, it's something that it's a total must to have, no? But
I know, right?
exactly. So a lot of people are talking that the life after the pandemic, and to be honest, after 140 plus interviews, we start to have the feeling that there might not be really the after thing. So it might be that we more need to cope and we more need to understand how to live with the pandemic. But what do you think, how will the logistics, the industry look like, whether it's living with it or after that? So what do you think, what has been the transformation in this industry?
Well, I believe that the impact from coronavirus has demonstrated that manufacturers, they need much more, how to say, resilient supply chains, and businesses, they will also need to grasp the situation they face themselves. And I think they should allocate resources to determine the new priorities. Because what we already experience in the supply chain, a lot of companies who had their main suppliers in Asia, like in China, for example, or somewhere near, they are now refocusing. They are looking for the new suppliers in Eastern Europe, even in Africa, Russia, why not? Much closer. So this leg of transportation should become shorter in order to, well, have the supply in place where when the demand will grow again. And we see a lot of consolidations already happening now. At the same time, we see quite many companies leaving the market, hopefully forever, because it's really easy to grow when the market pushes up. But as soon as you will face the challenges, well, customer will see who you really are. So it will be different world in 6 to 9 months.
Wow. But what do you see also? There's different industries have been, some of them booming, some of them obviously suffering. And regarding this market, what do you think? Will the existing market be in a position to operate on pre-crisis level? Has it grown? Has it shrunk? What has really happened in that market?
Probably not. I think not, because the purchasing power of global goods, it will inevitably drop and likely to remain lower for several years to follow, I guess. For instance, let's take Apple with its vast network of components. Saw production cease in February in China, right? By March, its manufacturing supplies of chip and circuit boards in Malaysia had basically stopped. And this is a good sign of guys, if you need the new AirPods, then buy them now. You might not be able to get them in fall, let's say. So as of mid-June, Apple is struggling to return to normal pre-crisis operations. Now in the end of July, we see even worse numbers. So, and this is just one company. Okay, the biggest, but still one of them.
Yeah, and with the biggest purchasing power, which is concerning. So it's
correct. So
very
I
true.
believe that companies must reevaluate the existing logistics service providers can still operate in the desired routes, and if they can't, then either the new routes should be mapped out or transportation costs renegotiated. So a lot of stuff happening right now, although it's a period of vacations. But I know that majority of the companies in Western Europe that used to have the whole August off, they are now working.
There was another very concerning moment during or especially when the crisis started, and that was the moment that we realized how much we are affected, that all of the production and manufacturing businesses, in a sense that most of the continents, whether it's Europe, whether it's US, whether it's almost everybody had the manufacturing in China. So that's a huge hit to everyone. So what do you think? And we see also that typically companies outsource manufacturing to obviously save on labor, on component costs. So will we see now that those companies that will survive, hopefully, maybe they're not even going to survive, and that gives opportunities to new ones to raise. But what do you think? Do they need to, or the markets itself, they need to refocus on production in the current market, meaning that US will do their production or manufacturing in US, or at least like in a way that they don't really be really cut off. How do you see that?
Probably, yes. What I'm pretty much sure of that the coronavirus fallout will not be the end of globalization, because it is, well, easy to observe that we are so connected that to roll back those forces would be more of a struggle than combating the current pandemic. So we won't lose all the connections, but we already see a lot of companies are restructuring fully their supply chain. And for instance, in Estonia, majority of the manufacturers are already raising quite heavily their valuation because they are finding the local suppliers and they are refocusing on local markets. So yeah, more likely is that companies will boost their distribution infrastructure. And when the one supply center is impacted, the focus is just shifted to another, I don't know, to take up the strain of consumer demand, because it's all about the consumer in the end.
Yeah, very, very correct. So, but what do you think? What are the other risks that manufacturers will face or already facing?
Finances, obviously. If we were cut off the markets for a quarter, then let's just pretend that those annual reports that were issued now in May, June, they are describing the situation of 2019, but the reality is that when you're losing like 1/4 of your revenue in 2020, your financial statement will be completely different from what any of us would expect, well, in a normal situation. So what is definitely important is to renegotiate your suppliers, your buyers, and to obtain some outside financing. This is something happening in Europe right now. I think those 750 billion were announced earlier today. So a lot of companies I know, they have been struggling to get this funding. Now with the new tranche, the chances are obviously bigger. But when monitoring our closest neighbors, Russia, for instance, we are seeing that from small and medium enterprises, about 17 to 22%, depending on the industry, will not survive. And if they will get some goods or services from you without you having a proper financial analysis on their current state, you can lose the money.
Yeah, exactly. And it's great that you brought out also the even the reporting here, because what Estonia did, they prolonged. Actually, usually you need to have your financial year declared by June, and now it's until October again, or was it November even? So
yes,
so it's going to be very interesting to see, because literally with those months everything can change, and obviously from both sides it can fail or it can just pick up. So I think it's a very interesting strategic move that they did. Obviously, one is the technical part of it, but the other is also like the economic impact that type of reporting will have. And obviously, how do we see the statistics next year, which is going to be a very interesting moment, I think, for the whole world. That's but especially for Estonia. So
correct.
What are the possible solutions then, and is there anything that, for example, the company which you are managing, the space, what are the options with space?
I'd say that before COVID, a lot of businesses could use their gut feeling for growth or for survival, the status quo, but not anymore. You need data. You need a solid data and analysis. And for this reason, you have to digitalize. And when we are looking at the enterprises, especially the manufacturers, they definitely do have, and they use some kind of ERP or MRP systems, some kind of accounting systems in their companies. But considering logistics, this piece is missing. Yes, there are some communication tools to order stuff and to expect it to arrive. But what we are building in space is the platform that not only takes care of your communication with the supply chain, but we're also communicating with your suppliers directly. And we are using the control tower in order to monitor the status of your shipment. And this is something that majority of the transportation companies, they are faking it.
Yes, exactly. And I think if we are talking about the companies that innovate, then that's one of the examples. What you just need to deliver so much more value to the client that they will be blown away by it. Like, wow, why would even they would be getting involved into it? But that's, I think, a very brilliant way to actually approach that and do that. So congratulations, and I think that will be a really game changer in that industry and in that market. So We will be very keen to know what the next years will bring for space and for everybody that are involved. But let's talk about you now, because I think your experience with as a deputy general manager at Space, and also you becoming the mentor for one very exciting movement, then I think there's more to you than just the company that you just described, which is absolutely amazing. What have been the greatest lessons that you have learned as a deputy general manager at Space?
All right. Do you want to hear my greatest lessons from today, from last week, from last year?
That's called entrepreneurship, yes. This is called entrepreneurship.
Yes, yes. Well, I think the major lesson I can bring up today is the clash of cultures, in a way, when the old industry meets startups. Mm-hmm. And it's all about thinking, it's all about being agile, being lean, actually focus on your customer, because they all say that, but when you dive into the procedures and systems in the company, then you actually learn what's in the focus. Is it the revenue? Is it the margin? Or is it the customer?
Yeah.
Because when you will take care of the customers, your customers will take care of you. And spending hours and days and weeks educating our new partners from Space, sharing with them our knowledge and experience, and being patient about it. I think this is the biggest lesson.
That's a beautiful
in this particular
answer.
Company.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful answer, because I think it's long overdue that it's not about us. It's not about what we do or what we offer, but how do we solve the problems of a client. And as you said, the rest will take care of itself, you know? That's a great sharing. So let's talk about you mentoring others, and also let's get to know who have been your mentors that you have been now able to mentor the others. But what is global hack, and how did you end up mentoring startups?
Global hack is a hell of an event that was actually born in Estonia. And it all started from a couple of my good friends who they just couldn't sit and wait and watch all those mess going around. They wanted to give their input. They wanted to do it first locally, but in the end, tons of amazing people all over the globe were involved. And it ended up as a global event where teams from all over the globe, they were hacking the crisis, hacking Corona, coming up with some amazing solutions to help people, to help communities, to help governments. And we see like tens and tens, maybe hundreds of those solutions that were literally built within a weekend have now been used by society, bringing immediate value and growing. So when a friend of mine called out in the social media entrepreneurs to join the hack, how could I say no?
Beautiful.
Because even the smallest piece of advice to some brilliant youngsters with wonderful idea who maybe are not sure about direct implementation or some tiny piece of working prototype, if I can affect that, well, my job is done. And I was happy and proud to be a mentor for several of those teams. And they were so brilliant youngsters. I'm not even sure if they needed anyone, but well, I still hanged around.
That's great experience, and I think it's great experience for both sides to mentor and to be a mentee as well. So, but who have been your mentors in life, and how do you choose your mentors?
I have several, and most of them have no idea that they are mentoring me through their books, through their audio channels, YouTube channels. And one of my mentors is just sitting in front of me. I'm so grateful for you for the program you arranged for us last year with the John Maxwell. That was just amazing. We learned a lot, and yeah, John Maxwell is definitely one of those people I'm following actually during last 10 years, I'd say. But there are also amazing entrepreneurs here in our society, the founders of Skype, the founders of TransferWise, all those wonderful companies, or the founder of Bolt, for instance. He's a young guy, but his focus, his passion, his work ethics is something to learn from. And as a member of a startup community and startup founders society, I have an access to all those bright minds to learn from. My great mentor is my wife, actually, because we are married for 28 years. And funny enough, you know, there are so many people calling or writing us on our anniversary in June 26, asking for the secret advice, the secret formula that we are already kind of joking that in 2 years' time, we need to publish a book, How Not to Screw Up a Marriage in 30 Years.
That was actually my next question. Have you ever written a book? But now I know that it's on the way, and it's going to be co-authored, obviously. So, but it's a beautiful answer, obviously, when you can now always have mentors in different areas, and obviously, I think as you just mentioned, also there's different qualities what we are looking and also to see, like, okay, this is the little bits of pieces that I will take from this mentor, and the other one can mentor me in the other field. So it's truly important to really understand, like, who do I need to get to next level, and Aleksander has been one of the best mentees, in a sense that he's the excellence of execution is something which is like absolutely incredible. So that's why I know that whoever wants to work with you, collaborate with you, then my blessing, because the way that you are and the ethics and the delivery of all of it, it's absolutely amazing. But tell us, what will the future bring to Alex personally now, as you bring it on the table, and also professionally?
Well, as one of my mentors, Bob Andrews from Network 21, is saying that you need some kind of life-changing experience in your life to re-evaluate everything happening around you and inside you. For me, that was a birth of my grandchild a year ago. She's an amazing princess. Unfortunately, we are living in the Democratic Republic, so no chance to actually acquire the princess title here, but she is a princess of my heart, and I would never thought or believe earlier that I will become a keen farmer. And not only a farmer, it's a 130 years old farm that we acquired, and I'm a builder now.
Wow.
So starting from September this year, I'm going back to school, and in 2 years' time, if things will play out for me, I will be a certified wooden house construction manager. That's my hobby.
So you need to follow your passion. Whenever you feel that this is something that you want to impact in, beautiful.
Exactly.
That's truly beautiful. But what are the 3 recommendations that you can give us how to dominate the decade? What is your secret source for that?
Know your values, first of all, and you will dominate every decade. Well, 3, no fear. No fear of losing, no fear of dying, because this will happen anyway. And if you spend too much time focusing on that, you will actually lose all those brilliant moments around you. And third, if there is a fear, then action cures all the fear. So be in action, find your passion, do what you love, surround yourself with people you trust and love, and everything will work for you.
That's a great advice, and I think it's the best approach to fear which I have heard since I started all those interviews. There have been a lot of approaches, but it's the most authentic and most straight to the point. So that's
Okay.
So if people want to follow you and if they want to contact you now, maybe they are interested to understand more or know more about what you do, and whether it's on mentorship, whether it's on space, how can they do so?
I'm not really active on Twitter, although I follow several of my mentors there. It's Alex Gansen, Alex with X. And on LinkedIn, it's Aleksander.Gansen. I'm obviously on Facebook, but on Facebook, you will rather recognize me as a grandfather.
Well, we
It's
have
not
our roles.
Yes, exactly. That's my role there. And yeah, all my contact data is on the LinkedIn. Welcome.
Beautiful. So what would be the one recommendation or one message that whoever took time today to be with us, what would you say to them?
Whatever it is that I'm saying to myself every morning. After waking up, you never know what your day will bring. But if you focus on positive, then it's much easier to live. And thinking about values and stuff important to me, I can share one little secret of the happy relationship, if it's okay.
Sure.
There will be problems, there will be arguments, but if you decide never to get to bed without actually reminding yourself why you love the person next to you, life will change forever.
That's a beautiful advice. Thank you very much. So thank you, Alex, for taking the time to be with us. He took the flights. He was driving. He was doing everything. It's evening in Estonia, and he's here. He showed up. The same you need to do in your life. You need to first show up and then also take action. So if you didn't take notes today, then I invite you to go back to this video. Even I did take notes. So so go back to this video, write down the ideas, write down the things that could actually change your life. And don't just write them down, take action. Because by taking the action, you become the hero of your life. But you can become the hero of someone else's life. How? By sharing the video. Because we never know when there's a person who needs to hear Aleksander's story, needs to know about the solutions that are out there. And maybe that person will learn today something and they can change their life. So become the hero of your life and someone else's life. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for investing in your personal growth and being with us here today. Aleksander, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ragnar. Bye-bye.